Who needs mercy? Maybe Baldwin and Fox Chapel? Who are the top teams in the first 25 years of this century? Who's number one in 4A? Those are some of the questions we'll get to this week on the Varsity Extra podcast here on the Post-Gazette Sports YouTube channel. I'm Mike White along with colleague Keith Barnes, heading into the, can you believe it, 7th week of the season.
No.
Some controversies to talk about a little bit. We have predictions on the top games. We have our shining stars, our Post-Gazette Fantasy League. Where are they now? And Keith, we have a lot to talk about, but I think you have something to say first, don't you?
Let's take care of some business first, shall we? Sports fans, when the game's on, there's only one spot you need to be. Dave & Buster's in Homestead. Catch every play on massive HD TVs, fuel up with fan favorites like wings and burgers, and keep the fun going with the latest games and ice-cold drinks. Whether it's happy hour, game day, or just a night out with friends, Dave & Buster's Homestead is where Pittsburgh goes to eat, drink, play, and watch sports. Proud sponsor of the Post-Gazette Sports WPIAL channel. Now, Mike, we're going to start off with our Talking About segment, and we're talking about mercy.
First segment. There's the bell to start.
Mercy. Talk about some mercy.
Well, it was a big subject last week, and it really was what a lot talked about. Really, stories were read like crazy on our website. There was a situation, Baldwin, athletic director, he emailed their 5 athletic directors of their final 5 opponents, asked them for some mercy. In other words, he asked for a running clock for all the games in the first half, not just the second half, to start the game in the first half, shortened quarters. And this was, he said, all done because of a safety factor and because of the parents saying they're a little worried. They want something done for their safety. Baldwin is bad. They're really bad. They're 0-6 now. They've now lost 25 games in a row, dating back a few seasons. And then on top of that, Fox Chapel and Pine Richland got together, and Fox Chapel wanted shortened quarters, I guess, in the first half of their game because they thought they were going to get destroyed, and Fox Chapel is not very good either. But that's what we have right now. So, Keith, a lot of people have opinions about this. Really? Is this what it's come to? Not just small teams. We're talking about 5A teams asking for mercy ahead of time. Your opinion?
Well, first and foremost, the Baldwin situation was just unconscionable. I mean, I have never heard of an athletic director sending an email out saying, our kids aren't that good. Please play your JV players almost expressly because you'll beat us anyway. To me, that was a slap in the face to every kid who went to the summer workouts on the optionals, who went through heat acclimatization, who went through training camp, and who played in those first 5 games. Those kids worked their tails off. And to have an athletic director basically go behind their back and go to the 5 athletic directors of the teams they were still to play saying, please be nice to us, please take it easy on us. The backlash was deserved. And the parents, from what I saw, the parents at the Touchdown Club and the Booster Club had no idea this was going on. They did not find out until it posted online, till we ran our stories, and were extremely upset about it. There were signs at the Baldwin game saying, well, we don't want mercy. We want our kids to play. And that was extremely nice, extremely fair of them to say, we weren't behind this. This wasn't our decision. And let's be honest about this. Baldwin's program, this is an institutional problem with the football program. The program has never been good. Don Yanessa couldn't turn this program around. They brought
but he took it from here to here, and they've been competitive sometimes.
Exactly.
They've been competitive sometimes.
They've been competitive here and there, but this is an institutional problem. And it goes back a long time with Baldwin. And whether it's the kids don't want to play football, the kids aren't interested in football, or they just, they're so turned off by how the program is going, it's become a huge problem for them. And I almost feel sorry for Dana Brown, the head coach, because how can you turn around a program when your top administrator that you work with does this behind your back? That to me,
Keith,
is what kind of change things there.
I would say this, though. My opinion, first off, this just wasn't him. Apparently, there's other administrators were involved in this decision, and Dana Brown met with the athletic director, and they're claiming this is what the parents wanted something done because were worried about the safety of their kids. Well, then don't have your kid play football then, the 5A level. They had 30 kids still, but so they apparently some parents did want something done, but they've got problems there, and I just think they handled the situation very poorly.
Agreed. Absolutely.
You could have called maybe the coach you're playing that week and the night before the athletic director say, hey, you know what? Don't put it on paper that you want this. I mean, gosh almighty. And interesting thing. What I found interesting, they said they're doing this for safety, but they ended up not doing it. They ended up playing regular quarters. Yeah. And Dana Brown said to me, and I didn't use it in the story, that he was not in favor of playing JV players from the other team. He wanted to play the regular players. And then later on in the game, you could put in your JV. So, even heck, I've coached even in games, in ninth grade basketball where once or twice the team was really bad. And you say that the coach comes over before the game and you discuss it before, hey, we're really bad. So, you know what? You take it easy on us. And if you want to, okay. You say, oh, what do you want us to do? Well, if you can't, don't press. Okay, fine. We won't press, but we're going to play our players. So I just think that, and then a school board member and with, I guess some backing of other school board members sent letters to the 5 schools that they asked for the mercy and were mad, claiming that their athletic directors leaked that letter to me. I got news for you, Baldwin. No athletic directors leaked that letter to me. So you went after them and criticizing them? How about take care of your own problems first?
Absolutely. I mean, that should have been a gentleman's agreement. It should have been the coaches could have met at midfield before the game and said,
or the night before the game,
the night before or something. You don't put it in writing, and you certainly don't put it in writing. Be nice to us. We're not very good. We know you're going to win even with your JV players. That phrase to me, when I saw that was what kind of set me off. It was like, these kids work really hard and you just turned your back on them. I know it's supposedly for player safety, but they should have been consulted. You could have done this in a Zoom meeting with your parents and have all of them and had a consensus opinion rather than just have either one person or the administrator.
I wouldn't get even the parents involved. Sorry. No. I wouldn't. And one last thing.
You have more dealings with parents as a coach than I do. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, but one last thing. People have even said, only a couple people. I know Baldwin wasn't happy I did the story, but here's the thing. As reporters, we cover a lot of games. We write stories and we write human interest stories and things that are interesting and unusual. And you know what? This was unusual. I never saw this happen ever before. That's why it was a story. Absolutely. This wasn't something that just another one. No, I've never seen anything like this happen. Not to criticize Baldwin too much. So that's why I did the story. It was interesting. And is this a sign of things to come? Maybe. I don't know. All right.
I don't know.
There's the bell. Keith, next subject here I'm talking about, similar to what we just talked about. It is what?
Well, we're going to talk about a little bit of what the PIHL does in this instance. I mean, you're talking about teams that kind of have.
When you say PIHL, the hockey.
The PIHL hockey, the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Hockey League. And what they do is every year they take a look at their wins and losses of all the teams, regardless of classification. And they weight the wins and they only have classifications play each other. They don't have inter classification games. So 3A only plays 3A, 2A only plays 2A, 1A only plays 1A. And what they do is they weight the wins. And
clarify. They don't make their classifications by enrollment like the PIAA.
Their classifications are not done by enrollment. They do them by wins over, I believe it's a 3-year period, and they give a certain number of points for wins in each classification. And there's an adjustment every year. You have teams moving up and teams moving down. This year, for example, Fox Chapel, their hockey team has had great success over the last few years. They moved from Class 2A to Class 3A. If you look at Class 3A this year, Bethel Park which has had a couple of off years and has been a great team over the years, moved down to Class 2A. And Cannon McMillan, which won a championship in 2015, is now a Class 1A team after going down because the program has faltered. It works. It works.
In other words, if you struggle for a few years, you get moved down. If you are good for a few years, you move up. Yes. So should the WPIAL consider anything like this? Because there is somebody out there that would like to see them do this.
Yes, there are. Yes, there is. That's Mike O'Brien from Fox Chapel, who's actually kind of petitioned the league and has a formula for this, and has gone to the league for a couple of years now, trying to get the WPIAL to use a weighted system, which is similar to what Ohio uses and some of the Philadelphia schools use. But the problem you have is you have 6 classifications and 6 teams that are going to go into the state playoffs. And when it comes to playoff time, it's going to be really hard to figure out how to slot those teams in. The PIHL doesn't have the PIAA on its back. The PIAA doesn't state what the classifications are for each school because of the fact that there is no state governing body. They only play the top classifications from the Flyers Cup and Penguins Cup play each other in the state championship game. The only difference is you can't be in Division II and you can't be an out-of-state team, which is why the New Jersey teams that play in the Philadelphia League are not eligible for the state championships, and neither of the West Virginia teams that play for the Penguins cannot play for a Penguins Cup.
Okay. But should the WPIAL consider doing this for football?
I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's feasible to do it for football. I think what you're going to end up with is a bunch of teams in Class 1A that maybe shouldn't be there and end up languishing there. And it's going to be really hard for them to build their programs up. And you're going to be talking about maybe 5, 6, 7 teams that just can't win. And may have a couple of wins against each other, but won't have enough to be able to move up. And that's going to be your danger. You're going to have your 5 and 6A teams, maybe some 4A teams movement, even some 3A teams. But overall, I just don't see it. I don't see it being as viable in football because there are so many schools.
And here's the other thing. I don't think the WPIAL will ever do anything like this.
I don't think so either.
That's what I have to say about that. Next subject here I'm talking about. It is. Who's the top team in Class 4A? Who's the number 1 team? Anyone?
That's a very good
Anyone?
question.
Anyone? Who? Anyone step up? Who's the number 1 team in 4A? Who knows? Who do you say?
Right now it's Mars, but that's debatable.
Ooh.
Mars is the number 1 team in the Post-Gazette this week. They're the 4th team to be number 1 in Class 4A this year. The first team was McKeesport. TJ moved up to number 1 after it beat McKeesport. Then after TJ got beat by Avonworth, it was Aliquippa. And now Aliquippa lost to Newcastle this past week, and it's Mars. So in my opinion, at the end of the day, who do I think is going to be there? I think it's going to be McKeesport if Keemon Spell stays healthy.
I agree with you.
From the beginning of the year, I thought they were the number 1 team. And with him being hurt after that first game against Delaware Valley and playing 3 downs in that Thomas Jefferson loss, it was really kind of hard to gauge where McKeesport was. But this is a team that almost beat Upper St. Clair without him. With him, I think they're far and away the number 1 team in Class 4. I don't think there's a doubt. And I think and Mars is number 1 this week, but we're going to see what happens next week when Mars goes to Weigel Schaefer Stadium and has to play McKeesport. And if Keemon Spell is healthy, I think that's going to be a very interesting game and going to have a huge impact on who the number 1 seed in the playoffs is going to be. All
right, my number 1 team, if I had to do it right now, I would pick Thomas Jefferson. Not that I think they're the best team, but I think, I know Keemon Spell did not play, but they still beat them. And they lost to the team that's probably the best team in 3A and 4A, Avonworth.
I would agree with that.
So I think I might, and Aliquippa didn't have their quarterback this week when they lost to Mars. I think I might put Thomas Jefferson first.
They lost to Newcastle.
I'm sorry, not to Mars. They didn't have their quarterback and lost to Newcastle. So I would put Thomas Jefferson number 1. But I think if Keemon Spell's there, I agree with you. I think McKeesport's the team to beat. So that's just my opinion. So anyone? Yes, I say TJ. You say Mars. Next subject.
I say McKeesport.
Oh, well, but you had Mars number 1. I'm saying right now.
I still say it's McKeesport.
You say McKeesport at the end of the year.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll go with Mars for right now.
All right. Next subject. Where's that bell? There it is. It is. Now, last week I do a series on 25 years of football, top teams, top athletes, top coaches, various things. I did the top 10 teams in the first 25 years of this century. I will go over them real fast, and you got to give me yours. Here we go. Steel Valley, 2016, number 1. Jeanette, 2007, number 2. I'll start at the bottom. South Fayette, 2013, number 10. Mount Lebanon, 2021, number 9. Aliquippa, 2023, 8. Clairton, 2017, 7. Thomas Jefferson, 2019, 6. North Allegheny, 2012, 5. Pine, 2017, 4. Central Catholic, 2004, 3. Jeanette, 2007, 2. Steel Valley, 2016, number 1. The only team in the history of Pennsylvania to win a state championship. By speaking of mercy, they gave no mercy to anybody, or they did mercy kill everybody. They beat every team.
Columbia, which says a lot, right there.
They mercy ruled every team that year, all 15 of them.
That's still
it's
a
incredible
record. That's a crazy.
So those were mine, and I would just say this real fast because we do have to move on. The biggest trouble I had was picking. There are other teams that maybe could have been in there. Deciding between Central Catholic of 2004, Pine 2017, North Allegheny 2012, 3, 4, and 5. What order? If I had to do it again, I might put Pine number 3 at 2017. But that 2004 Central team, really good. Who's your top 5?
All right. Well, I'm going to start out with number 5. I'm going to go with the Jeanette Jayhawks of 2007. That team was just loaded. And Terrell Pryor, he was just head and shoulders above everybody that year. I watched that team a lot. I saw the state championship game. They should have won the year before. They were a fumble away from it. It was just heartbreaking to see them lose that game, and the comeback the way they did the next year was just great. Number 4, I went with TJ team from 2019. That team could just score and score and score, and they just had such a great defense on that team. It was an amazing team.
Gave up only 69 points.
Number 3, I went with the Clairton team from 2012. That was a team that had a lot of pressure on it coming into the season. Yeah, they had Tyler Boyd, and they had a lot of great players, and including the late Amani Ford at quarterback. But this was a team that came in with that winning streak, and every single team was gunning for them because they wanted to end that streak. And that team ended with a 63-game winning streak and finished it off with their 4th straight state championship. I thought that was pretty impressive. Central Catholic, I would say that 07 team at number 2 at 16.
07 or 07 or 04?
Oh, I'm sorry, the 04 team. The 04 team, my fault.
The 07 team was good too.
I know they were. And number 1, I am 100% on the money with you on Steel Valley. That 35-point mercy rule, 15 straight, is just absolutely incredible. I don't know if the team was ever going to be able to do that. That was mind-boggling, that team that was able to do that. And like I said, they did it to Southern Columbia team in the state championship game that had won, multiple state championships, went on to win multiple state championships. That was their albatross for them. And I give a ton of credit to the Ironmen for doing that.
So you don't have the Pine Richland team of 2017 with Phil Jerkovic. They had 4 guys on the Fab 22. They beat St. Joe's Prep. Phil Jerkovic had one of the best seasons of any WPIAL player in the history of the league.
Honorable mention, you only gave me 5. You had 10. I had to cut 5 of them out.
Yeah, but you don't have Pine in the top 5?
Okay. Who do you replace him with?
I get rid of either Clairton or the Thomas Jefferson team.
Man, you're not really popular down in Mon Valley, are you?
No, there's nothing against Clairton. I put them. I had really trouble. They won 4 states in a row.
Yeah.
Which team do you put in? I don't know. That's really tough. I just chose the 2012 because that was Tyler Boyd's senior year, and I
thought that was the most dominant of the teams too. I really did. I just thought they expected to win, but they still had that target on their backs and had that pressure of every game of trying to get to 60 to get to the state record. So
okay.
All right.
There we go.
Well, that's our first segment. I guess we're going to take a little bit of a break, and we'll be back with our Shining Stars segment and our Post-Gazette Fantasy League on the Post-Gazette Varsity Extra podcast, sponsored by Dave & Buster's. And we're back here in the Post-Gazette Varsity Extra podcast, sponsored by Dave & Buster's. I'm Post-Gazette High School Sports Coordinator Keith Barnes. I'm here with my colleague, Mike White, and we have our Shining Stars. Mike, who's your Shining Star this week?
Well, my Shining Star is a kid named Jonah Williamson, a quarterback from Trinity High School. And I'll tell you what, this Jonah is having a whale of a career. Did you get that? Did you see what I did there? Jonah Williamson is having, I can't see what you're doing. I can't see what you're doing. I can't see it. I don't know.
It's a Harvard Globe. It's
all
a Harvard
right.
Globe.
I'll get to it. You Crimson Tide. Jonah
Crimson
Williamson.
Tide. No, Crimson.
Yeah, Crimson Tide. Crimson. Last week against Ringgold, he rushed for 164 yards, completed 12 of 17 for 227. Now, I say him as a shining star because I think he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the WPIAL. He's had a tremendous career. Jonah's had a whale of a career. He has 3,828 yards passing, 2,367 yards rushing, 5,195 for his career. He could be a 1,000 guy this year in the regular season. And as you said, he is going to Harvard to play quarterback. Jonah Williamson, a Hiller, my shining star.
My shining star is Hempfield quarterback Dominic Detruf. I mean, this kid's story this year is just it's heartbreaking and amazing. I mean, he lost his father about a month before the season. His father was a quarterback at Jeanette. He took his dad's number. He's wearing number 18 now, and he's having a great year. And so is Hempfield. I mean, so far this season, he's just absolutely been lighting it up. But last week, what he did against Cannon McMillan. He was 27 of 35 for 341 yards and 4 touchdowns. This team is 4-2. And who would have thought coming into the year that Hempfield was going to be 4-2? They're going to get a real test this week when they play against Norwin. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But from what he's gone through and the year he's having, he's a 1,000-yard passer, and he's one of the top quarterbacks in the WPIAL this year. And he's my shining star.
Next subject here on this second segment is the PGFL, the wildly popular Post-Gazette Fantasy League. We pick a quarterback, running back, receiver, kicker, do it all on points, nothing else but points. And let's first go over again what we did last week. Again, every blind squirrel finds a nut, right?
Keith Barnes. Second straight week, though.
I know. You found 2 of them now. Keith Barnes wins for the second week. He's now 2-4. I am 4-2. Here are your guys. Drew Welhorski, quarterback, South Fayette, gave you 6 points. Here is the guy that did it for you. Famous Amos Glenn of Freeport. Who knows him? 24 points, 4 touchdowns. Khalil Taylor gave you 12 for Pine Richland, and your kicker, Liam Smith, gave you 6. That was a difference. Famous Amos
touchdowns right now. Yes,
I took Taylor Reed from Woodland Hills at running back. He only gave me 6 points. You beat me. The total was 48-34. That's the difference at running back. I had Ubi Strader, Taylor Reed, Sean Moorfield from Gateway, only 1 touchdown, and Frank Knezovich, a kicker from Moores. So 48-34. So let's go this week. Who you got, big fella?
You get the quarterback first.
Oh, man. No, you go quarterback first. I want to go running back first.
No. You get the quarterback first this week. I had the quarterback first last week.
All right. I will take Dawson Wolf of Southmoreland. Dawson, Big Bad Wolf. Anthony Smith, who's he? Right? He transferred from Southmoreland after having a great freshman year. Transferred to Seton LaSalle and eligible. He's now at Fairmont High School. He's doing actually fairly well down there in West Virginia. But Dawson Wolf is having a really good year, filling in, doing a job, running the ball, throwing the ball. Not fantastic, but good. And they play at York. So Big Bad Wolf is going to do some things in that game. He's going to show his teeth.
Well, I'm going to go with one of the other more underrated quarterbacks in the WPIAL, Carson Bellinger from Avonworth.
We haven't picked him yet?
No, we haven't. Surprisingly, I went through. I was very surprised we hadn't picked him yet. But so far this season, he's 52 of 78 for 1,120 yards and 12 touchdowns. And they've got Quaker Valley. So I'm thinking Carson Bellinger is going to have himself a nice game this week.
All right, who's next? Running back, you going first?
Running back. I'm kind of torn on this one. I know who I want to take. I know who you think I'm going to take. But I'm going to take him. Keemon Spell from McKeesport.
Oh, okay.
I got to do it. He's only played in 2 games, really. He's got 32 carries, 438 yards, and 8 touchdowns. And this is a warm-up game for them. They've got to get him ready for Mars and see if he's ready. I think he's going to have a really big day against West Mifflin.
All right. I was going to take Jonah Justice from Beaver and justice for all, right? But not justice for me. I am taking Aiden Yoakum. No, there's no joke about Yoakum. He's come out of nowhere, Keith. Last 2 games, 589 yards rushing. He's now among the top 5-6 leading rushers in the entire WPIAL. Come out of nowhere. I think he had one other 100-yard game. But the last 2 games, 589 yards. They play knock, and he might knock a lot.
Yeah,
Aiden Yoakum, I'll take him. All right, receiver. I'm going first, right?
Yes, you are.
I will take Philip Marino Jr. from Beaver.
Nice.
He's one of the top 10 receivers of WPIAL as far as catches. They play Deer Lakes this week. Beaver's still a pretty good team. And I think Philip will fill it up in the end zone.
I'm going to take David Davis of Amani Christian. They've been using him more as a slot receiver than a running back this year.
Who do they play?
I can't even remember who they play.
Oh, you didn't do your homework.
I did not do my homework. But no,
I think they might play somebody not too good.
I think they do too. But to be honest, they're one of those. He's one of those players. He's a game breaker. They've been using him a lot in the slot. And he's averaging over 30 yards a catch. So I'm taking David Davis.
All right. So you took David Davis. So we're on the kicker. Who's going first? Kicker.
That's me, and I'm taking Ethan Maravich.
NA. You couldn't. He's mine. The Maravich name is in my family. The pistol I call him.
Well, the pistol's going to be shooting for me this week.
They play Mount Lebanon, so he's going to get I think the chance to put some points up. The Absolutely. Pistol. I was going to take the pistol. All right, I will take Calder the Man Mahan from Avonworth High School against Quaker Valley. He has some field goals this year. He has a lot of extra points. Avonworth scores a lot of points. He should get a lot of chances against Quaker Valley and one of the top players on their soccer team. Calder Mahan is. All right. There's our PGFL. There's our shining stars. That's our second segment. We have one more segment left to go. We're going to give you our predictions on the top games, pick 6 of the top games of WPIAL, and also a little where are they now? Coming up next here on the Varsity Extra podcast.
All right, we're back here at the Varsity Extra podcast. I'm Post-Gazette High School Sports Coordinator Keith Barnes. I'm here with my colleague Mike White, and we're going to talk about our pick 6, the 6 games we're going to pick this week. Mike, start us off.
All right.
Who's our first game?
We'll go with, I think, with our game of the week. We're going Hempfield at Norwin. Now, this is a 6A game as a game of the week. Why? Because big playoff implications on this one.
Absolutely.
4 teams only. 4. Get that on the screen. 4. Ever see it? Do teams do that anymore? Which I hate. Start the fourth quarter. 4. Oh, no, they're doing a 4. It scares me. I hate that. Anyway. So Hempfield at North. Sorry to get off subject here. Hempfield at North. So you go first. Pick them.
This game is going to come down to one thing, and it's whether or not Tristan Tavares of Norwin actually plays. He came out of last week's game. He was hurt. If he's healthy, Norwin wins this game. I don't think there's any doubt about it. But with him questionable, you got Dominic Detruf on the other side, and Hempfield could play with them. There's no doubt Norwin can play with Norwin. I'm going to take Norwin. I think that Tavares is going to play. And when he does, I think at this point, if they win, Norwin clinches a playoff berth.
Well, Norwin and Canon-Mac are tied for third in that 6A conference at 1-1, while Hempfield's 1-2. But Hempfield has played Central and North Allegheny. Exactly. Canon-McMillan hasn't played either of them. Norwin has played North Allegheny. So I think I'm taking Hempfield at home. Tavares is a big factor whether he plays or not, but I'm going with the Spartans at home. Next game, South Fayette at Upper St. Clair. I'll go first on this one. The Panthers showed me something last week. They really gave Peters Township all they could handle. I think could have won that game. And Ethan Hellman showed me something. I think there was a question how good they were, even though they were 5-0. And they only beat McKeesport without Keem spell, I think, 17-14, and Hellman didn't have a great game. Well, and last week, Hellman throws for over 300 yards. They're right in the game till the end. I think they proved something to me. They'll control Drew Horsky well enough to win this game.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I really like Ethan Hellman and what he's been able to do this year. And, Mike Junko has put a lot of the offense on him and said he was going to do that this year. He said Ethan Hellman needs to be that guy for us. And so far he has been. I don't see South Fayette coming off of a big win at Baldwin, having – that's kind of a warm up. I mean, it's got to take a lot of the air out of some of these teams going in and playing Baldwin and having that kind of a game, and then having to come in and play a huge game against Upper St. Clair. So I think Upper St. Clair is going to have the edge in this one.
All right, next. Yeah, you go ahead. Go ahead. Next game we got
Central Valley at North Catholic. And North Catholic got handled last week by Amani Christian after they jumped out to a 16-8 lead. But
it was 16-0. It was 16-0.
16-0. Sorry. I got a late update on that. I was at Fox Chapel last week. But anyway, North Catholic, they just got that explosive offense. It's just a question of whether or not that offense can sustain them against Central Valley. I think Central Valley is going to come to play. I think Mark Lyons is going to have them ready. And they're coming off a loss last week as well. But I think North Catholic's just one of the teams that's, I think they're going to be one of those teams at the end. I think they're a Final Four team in 3A, and I think they win this one.
This game is at Lieutenant J.C. Stone Field in beautiful North Park. Yes. I salute you, Lieutenant J.C. Stone, and I salute North Catholic to win this game. They bounced back. Joey Felitsky threw 2 interceptions last week. Pressure's on Central Valley secondary. I think North Catholic does enough to win the game, but they got to get that defense taken care of. All right, next game, we'll move on. We're going to go Montour at Newcastle. The Red Hurricanes are 5-1, suddenly relevant. And what a win last week over Aliquippa. Quarterback, freshman, Marino Graham, Golden Graham. What a year he's had, Keith, running the ball and passing the ball. He's really opened a lot of eyes. And from what I hear, he's a heck of a point guard. Will be their starting point guard in basketball. But I think Montour is still pretty good. Aliquippa didn't have their quarterback last week. Montour will have their quarterback and their good running back, who I still can't pronounce his name, Caden Palacio, or whatever his name is. I'm taking Montour to win on the road.
I picked Newcastle last week to beat Aliquippa. I had a feeling they were going to beat them even with their quarterback. I thought they were going to beat him with Marcus Council. So I think Newcastle is going to win. I think this might be Newcastle's year. It might be the year of the Red Hurricane. So I'm going to go with Newcastle to hold on to that spot. I think we have them number 5 right now in the Post-Gazette and maybe a little higher, but I think Newcastle's for real. Next in our game is going to be interesting is Moon at Peters Township. Will Peters Township have a letdown after beating Upper St. Clair last week? That's an interesting question. Mike, what do you think?
No, they'll eclipse Moon. They'll bounce back. Nolan DeLucia will do enough, and Peters Township all the way. And that defense.
I used to drive an Eclipse, but I'm still taking
Peters Township.
Did you? And our last one. This is an interesting game, I thought. Thomas Jefferson at
Trinity. Well, who did you pick?
I took Peters Township.
Okay. By Peters Township. Okay. Voice going up there a little bit.
Yeah, it did.
All right. Yeah. Who's the last game? Thomas Jefferson at Trinity. You put this game on there. Although I think it might be closer than people think, I'm going to go TJ on the road, except unless Jonah has a whale of a game, Jonah Williamson for Trinity. I've used that line 3 times now in this podcast.
I think Jonah is going to have a whale of a game. I think they're going to beat TJ.
Really?
After seeing TJ a couple of times, you look at what Trinity's done. Trinity's lost some games, but they've been close games. And they've been in every game they've played. And I think if they keep it close, they might be able to pull it out at the end. If this is a close game, I think Trinity pulls it out. So I'm going to take the Hillers. I got a feeling on them.
All right. Last segment here on Post-Gazette Varsity Extra Podcast. Where are they now? Could be a coach, could be a player, could be anyone in the WPIAL or City League. Where are they now? Keith, you go first. Give us one.
I'm going with Aiden Besselman, an Upper St. Clair alum. I watch a lot of Ivy League football just because I do. I mean, he's a Fab 22 guy. He's a junior at Princeton this year, and he's a starting receiver for them this year in their offense. He's got a couple catches, kind of getting into a rhythm with them. And after they beat Lafayette last week, and they're going to take on Columbia, which is Josh Pratt's new school since he committed, the former Aliquippa guard who's now at Lincoln Park, committed to Columbia this week. Well, he'll get to watch Aiden next year when he gets there.
Well, my where are they now is a player still in high school. I'm talking about Jackson Fela. He was a quarterback last year at North Allegheny, battled in the beginning of the year, him and Brady Brinkley, a sophomore, for the number one job. They split time for a game or two, but Brinkley eventually was given the job. Jackson Fela, the son of former North Allegheny star quarterback and baseball player Paul Fela, who played at Notre Dame and played in the minor leagues. So Jackson Fela, what did he do this year? He got up and left. He got up and left and went to a new state, went to Illinois. He is playing for Nazareth Academy. They have won 5 state championships since 2015, Nazareth Academy, in 5A. So they're a top team. Mm-hmm. And he has become the starting quarterback for Nazareth. Last week against Joliet Catholic, 16 of 20 for 308 yards. He has had a few other big games this year. He's found a team where he can be a starting quarterback, and they're a pretty good team, and he's shown some things. Jackson Fela from North Allegheny to Nazareth Academy in Illinois.
Nice. That's some well-traveled people. We got somebody in Illinois. We got somebody in New Jersey. We're just traveling all over the place for these people these days.
All right. I guess that does it then. That's our Pick Six segment and our Where Are They Now segment. Don't forget, we on our Post-Gazette website Friday night, we have coverage, scores of every game, write-ups on almost every game. We do it all. Keith will be out of the game this week. Coverage throughout the week for football rankings on our Post-Gazette website. And don't forget, we're on Spotify. And like us, subscribe to us here at the Post-Gazette podcast on this Post-Gazette Sports YouTube channel. So until we meet again next week, for Keith Barnes, I'm Mike White. Everyone, be good.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.